Hi, y'all. I'm Jeff with ZipFit, and today we're talking with Alex Hackel. You might have seen recently he um, announced he's skiing with ZipFit, and we're here to chat a little bit more about our partnership. How's it going, Alex?
It's going great, Jeff. I'm looking forward to talking a bit about ZipFit.
Right on. Maybe first and foremost, how did you hear about ZipFit, or how long have you known about ZipFit?
So I've known about ZipFit like a long time before our partnership. My dad happens to be ZipFit's biggest fan, and my dad and my mom have been riding ZipFits for I think the last 8 years. And I remember it was like I remember pretty much when they started riding ZipFits because I was always hearing my dad complain about his liners and like not knowing what to do and this and that and getting a lot of different boot fits every year. And then when he found ZipFits, it was like wow. And I basically heard him describe ZipFits to all of my like dad's friends out on the slopes when I was younger. So that was kind of my first interaction with ZipFit.
Nice. And then yeah, we linked up about 6 or 8 months ago, and to get you some liners. What have you been? What's your initial impression? What was, both when you got the liner in your hand and getting out and skiing in it?
My initial impression was like I was like impressed. Like I think that I didn't really realize like how much different they would be to like the foam liners, and like you can just kind of tell like the quality that's like in them when you like get your hands on them. Like you put your hand like in the boot and like it feels like sheepskin, like it's merino wool. And you can kind of like, I think the biggest surprise was just like, wow, like this actually is like, it's a lot different experience than I'm used to. And like you can really see like the quality of the liner. And I wasn't really prepared for that.
Nice. Um, yeah, your folks are back in Boston area, right? Are they still skiing in Maine, or where are they nowadays?
Yeah, so I grew up skiing Sunday River, Maine, and my parents had a condo there, and we're like pretty big Sunday River people, and that mountain means the world to me. But they sold their condo, and my aunt has a condo now in Sugarbush, so they're up in Warren, Vermont all the time, and they're kind of weekend warriors. They go out west like for a month a year on a big trip, and they live and breathe skiing, and that's sort of like how I got into skiing is that they were like so passionate, and that was kind of like what the family did. So like I couldn't play hockey or anything like that ski season. So right now they're holding it down in Sugarbush, and I love visiting them, and I love skiing Vermont.
Nice. We'll have to try to link up with them at some point, either back at Sugarbush or if they make their way out west.
Definitely. Like I said, like my dad, happy to meet you guys, and he's probably jealous. He's not on the call right now.
Yeah. What are some specific differences with a zip fit versus previous liners you've used?
I think like the biggest thing that I notice with my zip fits is like that they like don't pack out. And so I felt like my other liners, like, the day you get your boot fit, they perform the best. And then it's like a downhill slope after that. And with my zip fits, I felt like the performance hasn't really gotten worse like the longer I've been riding them. And now I've been riding them like quite a bit, but I don't really feel like it's like getting packed out or that the liner's deteriorating more. I feel like it's holding its like shape and its form, and then it's like just as comfortable as the day that it was fit.
Nice. Um, yeah. The performance of zip fits is great. We hear a lot of folks just speak towards the durability and kind of the longevity of our product, which is awesome. Can you speak to just the like comfort or warmth for anyone who is maybe more interested in those aspects of a liner?
Definitely. Well, I think like a liner, and like the more I understand about liners, like the liners do like a lot. It holds your heels in place and sort of like helps you be able to maneuver your foot better in the boot. But I think like all the technical stuff aside, like for me as a skier, like these past however many years, I'm not going to flex the number here, but that basically a liner is like about comfort, and a liner is about it's basically first and foremost about comfort. Like if you're not thinking about your feet while you're skiing, then your liner's doing the job. And then also like one of the things like I was talking about, like the quality is like it is like a warmer liner. Like you can just see everything about it. There's merino wool. I think there's the 3M like insulation. And so like I'm really excited to ski in the more this winter because I'm going to be out in the mountains a long time. Going to be focusing a bit on backcountry and all mountain. And like, I've been in a position where my feet are freezing and uncomfortable. And, I think that that's sort of like a big thing about the ZipFits is like not only do they like are they comfortable like just in general, you're not thinking about your feet, but they're a warmer and better built liner.
What you're in the Gara low volume liner, right?
Yep.
And what shell do you ski that in?
I ski it in a touring shell, the Dalbello Lupo 130s, I believe.
Nice. And same shell for everything, for touring and for your real ski edit, like it's same shell.
It's the same shell. I figured out 1 year basically that when I started touring and getting more into like the backcountry in the spring, that it's a pain in the butt to go between like two shells, and it's better really to have like one shell for everything. And then I think like above like one shell for everything, like I mean the liner I think plays like the biggest role. Like I filmed my first real ski on Craigslist boots that I bought off somebody on Craigslist. They were like K2 110 flexes, but they had the fit so that you could click into them with kingpins so I could go touring. And, once I sort of like, I was kind of like this diehard boot guy. And then when I was like forced into this Craigslist boot by basically sheer necessity of being able to tour on this trip, that's kind of when I came from like boot guy to liner guy, where I'm a little more like, okay, like the boot's obviously important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like the ski boot isn't important, but that like for your everyday comfort and sort of like confident skiing that you can switch shells quite a bit, but like the liner and your boot fit is like very, very important.
Nice. Um, I know with is there time for matching socks? You guys had like a carbon neutrality statement at the end of that, and that's something I find really cool. I think here at ZipFit we try to make a product that lasts a really long time and doesn't have a planned obsolescence. But wondering, yeah, if kind of your thoughts both on ZipFit, on 1,000 skis, and also on the ski industry at large in terms of kind of how important it is to be thinking about both on the product side of things and on industry side of making more sustainable products.
And definitely. So I guess, I've had like the privilege of being involved in some of these projects where we've calculated our emissions and, sort of gone to talk with experts. And by no way or shape am I expert. And I would say that I've like learned a bit by osmosis. But like one of the things I always hear when I talk to these experts is like it's kind of like about the life cycle analysis of a product. So it's about like the production of the product, the use phase of the product, and then the afterlife of the product. But that one of the things that is like most stressed is the use phase, because if you are, creating a product with the most sustainable materials, but that product is not in the use stage for very long, well then it's maybe not as good of an option as something that's maybe slightly less sustainably produced, but will last a lot longer time. And so it's kind of like this curve, or not really curve, but this line on, the graph of basically like sustainably produced and then life. So basically, one of the big things is like how long is a product going to be in the use phase? And that was something that I was actually like really impressed with the ZipFits, is because the ZipFits come with extra cork. So if after years, this cork's gonna like move, because the cork's kind of, from what I'm understanding, supposed to move a little bit and moves to your foot, and that more or less, if it moves to your foot in a way and you want to put more cork in there, they give you the cork to do that. And from everything that I've also heard, like, and everything that I've seen, basically foam is something that you heat the foam, and then it basically comes from like malleable to hard. You can't really reheat it that well. It can't really live on many, you know, shells after that. Whereas like the cork is very malleable, and then the product is made with the idea that you should be able to fix it yourself, and made with the idea that it should last 3 times as long as the other boot products. And so the other liner products, I should say. And so I guess like that was like when I was thinking about stuff and thinking about what I learned, talking with different people about, sustainability, I was really impressed because I know, like, as somebody who's thought a lot about sustainability in the ski industry, and it's very hard. Like, we love the sport that we do, and then we also have to realize that some of the things in our sport are not very sustainably produced, and that we're working to make them better. And when you see a product that's planned to be in use longer, that's just overall like a good sign that that's a good product.
Nice. Are you guys doing anything specific with Thousand Skis to kind of push that message or change production in any way?
Definitely. So we have our chief sustainability officer, Magnus Grenier, and he's like really passionate about all this stuff. And we've been in like uh, research projects with RICE, the Research Institute of Sweden, and basically we're trying our best, and we're trying to make improvements. And we know that we're not like perfect whatsoever. We get like a nice start because we make our skis in a factory that uses completely renewable energy, and that's where a large part of the sort of, let's just say, emissions come from in the production stage. And then also, like, we're pulling together all of our knowledge from being like street skiers and being very harsh with our skis to try and like provide a more durable product. And also like brainstorming ways on like, okay, like how do we, you know just like the ZipFits, like how do we keep our product in the use phase as long as humanly possible? And that's ultimately like, one of our big visions is being able to create a product that's super durable and is in use longer. And then I just like the philosophy of that, because the idea is that like you're providing like a premium quality good, and that you're not planning its obsolescence has to be a sign that it's a better made product.
Nice. What is your specific role with Thousand? Or do you have a specific title?
I don't believe that I have a specific title, but I would just say that my role has been a lot in like merchandising and finding the merchandise that we sell and sourcing it from different factories and stuff, and then a lot on the marketing side, and then also a lot geared towards, like America, and
Mhm.
making 1,000 skis like a global company.
That's awesome. Um, well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. I guess is there, will you still have time to be skiing a bunch this winter now that you're a
Yeah, I
official
mean,
businessman?
100%. I'm going to be skiing a lot this winter, and I'm looking forward to it. And I still think that I have a lot to give the skiing aspect, and the skiing world from the skiing aspect. And so I'm looking forward to it. And this winter is going to be fun. It's really exciting with 1,000 and with all the other ventures that I've been doing, and I'm more than excited than ever.
Well, thanks, Alex. We are also really excited to have you working with ZipFit and appreciate you taking the time today. I'm sure it's getting late there, so I'll let you go. But thanks as always. And if anyone has questions for Alex or about ZipFit, feel free to comment or message us, and we're happy to follow up with you. Uh, yeah, cheers. Have a good rest of your winter and be in touch.